Hey everyone, this is Bitsonline reporting from the Crypto Cannabis 2018 conference in Denver, Colorado. And today I'm really pleased to be talking to Dave Rodman again. Now, Dave's a principal with the Rodman Law Group, probably the premier legal firm serving the cannabis industry here in Denver. And David, could you just tell us a little bit first about what you're doing and what the latest things are here?
Do you mean latest as in crypto or latest as in cannabis?
Well, I think generally cannabis.
Well, the firm has expanded into California. We've had a presence in Canada, but California has been sort of our big target, and we've been able to achieve that, which has been great. Also, a bit infuriating. It makes Colorado look like a walk in the park, like from a regulatory standpoint. But it's the fifth largest or sixth largest GDP in the world, so it's where the focus needs to be. But also maintaining a very large stable of clients in Colorado, guiding them from everything from end of business life sales to good old-fashioned regulatory compliance for new licenses, and then everything in between.
Yeah, that good old-fashioned regulatory compliance. A lot of people were really excited about California coming online. Like that was going to make a big difference. What kind of unique challenges from a legal standpoint has that presented to you?
How much time do we have? So in Colorado, it's basically a two jurisdiction state, in that there's a state agency called the Marijuana Enforcement Division, and then every local jurisdiction has their own rules. California has what is essentially three versions of the Marijuana Enforcement Division, depending on what kind of license you're applying for, plus all of the local jurisdictions, which, as you can imagine, are far more in number. And they're not online yet. Everything is still very much hurry up and wait. Rules change almost hourly, it seems. You get conflicting reports of stuff from different people from different parts of the state. So it's Colorado on steroids, really.
Right. I mean, even here in Denver, we've had problems, or issues really, with just the local officials, the city, just doing what they can to try and shove the industry aside. They don't want to hype it in any way. They just want to sort of push it under the rug and let it all operate in semi-secret. Is that how you see it too?
So we're seeing just Denver, or just any jurisdictions within Colorado?
I guess I'm talking Denver. I'm probably thinking of the 420 rally and the issues they had over that, trying to shut it down.
So, I mean, that's a completely different set of, kettle of fish there. And that's a criminal issue. That's a public gathering, a public consumption issue. The actual regulatory agency, the the Department of Excise and Licenses, they aren't the easiest to deal with, but they're professional. And if you follow their rules, you generally get the results that you want. Now, there's definitely times where you follow their rules to the T and you don't get the results that you want, but you get that with the med as well. And then there are times where you basically tell them that they aren't following their rules, or this is why their rules don't say that, and that's when things get interesting.
Are the local authorities willing to work with the industry?
It totally depends on what jurisdiction you're in. Eagle County, Pueblo, absolutely. I mean, we've had some phenomenal interactions with the regulators this year, and it's just a special highlight. Shout out to Eagle County, absolutely best county to work with in the state. But Pueblo is as long as you are respectful and you actually try, they will work with you. Commerce City is up there. Clear Creek County is very, very willing to work with the industry. Probably one of probably the easiest to do business with is in Commerce County, Clear Creek County. Sorry, Boulder, the city of Boulder, Denver. It's a little bit of a different story.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, bigger population base, bigger bureaucracy. I have to be careful exactly what I say here, but there are individuals in place in certain jurisdictions that have a personal agenda that is not industry friendly, and no one would ever mistake that. Not going to name names, obviously, but that is still a problem. We used to see that at the Med, but the Med, and there still are a few, don't get me wrong, but the Med has really matured, in my view, and has become much more collaborative. I mean, it's still a fight, and you still have to be on your game, but like, they're much more willing to work with you than they used to be. And they're, I have some relationships over there where there's actually some joking that goes back and forth across the table, which is a far cry from even, a year and a half ago. So credit where credit's due.
Yeah, excellent. So are you spending most of your time here in Colorado now, or are you doing more work in California?
Way more here. I would say most of my work, well, almost all of my work is done from here. I do travel for work, travel to Canada, travel to Thailand, travel to California. But I'm a transactional lawyer. I do most of my work for those clients in my office in Denver.
Right. And from the cryptocurrency standpoint, has the situation changed in any way with that since the last time we were here back in October 2017? I think we were finding that a lot of companies just weren't aware of it, or they didn't think they could use it. Even financially in general, are the companies here having any better luck getting access to financial services?
Yes, companies are having better luck getting access to financial services. Cryptocurrency has never really come up with the Med. I'll speak easily from the Med standpoint. As far as Colorado goes, there's nothing in the Med about cryptocurrency, and I don't know if you remember our conversation. That was something that I was very keyed in on because I thought it was a unique way to get around some of the funding issues. Funding is still, and so banking, taking money in it has not been, and as I said last time, back in September, it has not been an issue. It's the funding that's the issue. And if you recall, I had an idea for a project to try to get some clients funding. Got it down the road a significant way. Got the white paper written, had some backers, but you really just I hired an associate, expanded the office, and my own firm just I've had no time to dedicate to it. So I still think I still very much want to do it. Every time I have a chance someone comes into my office where it's like we could apply that, I get very excited because it'll be powerful for this industry in this state and in any state where there is any kind of restriction on fundraising, which is usually a residency restriction, but not always. I mean, California is sort of nebulous there. Oregon, there is no restriction. So it's still a powerful nut to crack, and I know how to, I'm not tooting my own horn, I know exactly what to do in Colorado. It's just a matter of time, and I haven't had any.
Yeah, I totally understand that feeling. So do you think conferences like Crypto Cannabis actually help to move things forward?
I think the networking around them does. I was at the Blockchain World Summit just Thursday and Friday, and a law student gave a lecture on the legality of ICOs, and that's when I walked out. Not to throw shade, but I was busy doing work for clients as I was in there, hoping to hear some interesting stuff, and just didn't.
Is that because of the qualifications of the presenter, or just the topic itself?
I mean, it was very weird to be sitting there with knowing that I have several clients who've successfully done an ICO, and then to hear people's thought even some, they had 2 or 3 lawyers from one of the bigger firms in town. I can't remember who it was, and it's all theory. And it's like, I can legitimately answer those questions for you, but you're not paying me, and I've got work to do. So I hope that doesn't sound cocky at all.
Well, I mean, everyone wants to see the level of professionalism increase, I think. So speaking of which, have you noticed more legal professionals coming into the field as well?
Very much so. In both cannabis and cryptocurrency, but just to focus on cryptocurrency, night and day just from when we last saw each other. And a lot of it is people coming into it, seeing that there's money, and really talking from theory. And there's a lot of real practical stuff that you're not going to know until you do it. I'm not going to sit here and say that I know everything or even a tiny bit of everything, but I know some of some of the bigger issues, some of the things you wouldn't think of, and it. So I guess we've really kind of not answered the question: are these things helpful? The two that I went to in Thailand were incredibly helpful and incredibly enlightening. Got to meet one of the team members of Omazi Go, Skycoin, Self Key. It was, getting for me the technical education was amazing. It was a crash course, and I was kind of co-counsel with the gentleman who was heading up the legal discussions. So, the amount of legal knowledge I just absorbed was amazing. I haven't had the similar experience in America yet.
Okay, right. So, if you found someone who was interested in getting into this industry as a legal professional and they wanted your advice, what's the most important thing you could say to them?
Well, it would be the same answer for cryptocurrency and cannabis, and that is be flexible. I was talking to a opposing counsel this morning, and he was all excited about getting. This was actually a cannabis counsel, but he was very excited that he'd been in the industry for he'd been a lawyer for 18 years, but he'd been in the industry for 3 months. And I said, well, I've been a lawyer for almost 5 years, and I've been in cannabis for 4. And I'd say that the number one thing is it's not that the ground is moving under your feet all the time. It's more like, where is the ground? And once you become comfortable with that, which is very hard to do, and it can make you neurotic to a certain extent, but once you make your peace with that and are able to flow with it a little bit more, I think that's obviously know as much as you can. Do all the due diligence, do all your reading, know the code to the best of your ability, know what you don't know, but just be ready for a curveball that you didn't even know you were playing a baseball game in. It's and so that's cannabis, but it's also cryptocurrency. And so I feel that the training that the cannabis space regulatorily ingrained in me has made cryptocurrency kind of a walk in the park, knock on wood.
Alrighty, well, I hope it all goes well for you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, this is Bitsonline reporting from the Crypto Cannabis Conference in Denver, and this was Dave Rodman of the Rodman Law Group. Dave, thanks so much for talking to us.
John, absolutely. Thanks for having me.